Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bluescraft. It's bright and early in the morning. Excuse me. And I'm going to try to finish these pieces up here in this video and maybe get some of the tiling done on this. I want to get them mounted if I can, holes cut and mounted here. Unfortunately, it is still like 1,000 degrees in this. So I gotta open some vents. Oh, whoops. Oopsies. If I didn't have a mess to clean up, I do now. That went everywhere. Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. Sorry about that. I flipped over a bin of bits and they went everywhere. Okay, so I do need to do a little bit more work on these. I feel like I want to add. Do I need to? No. See, this one has an extra lip in here, but I don't know if that's overly noticeable. I think instead, actually, of putting another lip, because none of them look like they. Oh man. None of them look like they, are too messed up that they need one. I'm just gonna hop onto the next step with them, which would be finding. And I did make a couple extra ones. Just I might add them to another piece or something. Because sometimes when I'm in production mode, it's better to just produce and produce than it is to stop. It really matters how you're feeling at that moment. So now I gotta figure out how to mount these things. What up, Campaign Terrain? Good to see you, my friend. How's your morning? I just spilled like a big old box of bits all over the floor and cleaned that up for the first few minutes. It's great. So just gonna use this little measuring stick here to measure this. You guys probably aren't going to be able to get as good of a view, but if I can find my pencil. What about 3.5? No, wait. I'm just doing this measurement at 1 3/4 because these things are about 2 inches wide. And and this thing is about 3.5 tall. So I just want to know where that center bit is. I have marked where the spacing is already with those blue lines. So I just got to get some sort of semblance of where I'm going to line them up. Then I think I can get that right in the center. I should just be able to draw around it. Yeah, that looks about right. So I'm just going to mark these off so I can start cutting these holes, because I need to get I need to start getting the tiling or whatever I'm going to do onto this cardboard box. And this concept of putting these tubes in here has slowed me down with that, because I basically just waited and waited until I had some idea of what I actually wanted in there. So well, this might be a little weird. I got this extra layer in here that I probably should have customized before I glued it in, but got something better for this. So I'm using this X-Acto knife instead of the big utility knife, because the width of the blade is smaller, so I'll be able to make that turn a little bit easier. Actually, I'm going to try to get them all like pre-cut out of there a little bit before I really cut all the way through, so that I don't warp this box any if for some reason it gets stuck. So wham! Let's see how that fits in. Damn good. Damn good. I like it. Okay, just gonna get through this last. It's actually 2 layers of cardboard that I'm cutting through here. So, oh, my knife is going apart. But so I do have. There's a space back here. Goes all the ways down, so I can put some lights back there. Well, it's good. They're not perfectly level. This one is up a little bit, but that's fine. So I was wondering if I should try to like stick any of these pipes behind it now, or if I should just glue pipes in this way. That way would be better anyways. It'd be a hell of a butt to try to get pipes all the way back there. I can't even get my hand all the way back there. Crunch some cardboard or something. I guess that wouldn't be bad. That guess also it really matters how it looks with light shining in it. Unfortunately, I don't have my light down here, so I can't do that. But maybe before I stop this video, I'll go grab my light and do an experiment with that, because I think that would look really cool. So now I'm wondering if that is enough, or if I should, not put these ones on. I don't know about that. That's a good... It definitely looks like ventilation or something, right? Like it doesn't look like... it looks like airflow as opposed to actual liquid is going to come pumping out of these. So I think this is part of the sump pump then. The cannon for the hive the chunk of the underhive of the hive that my campaign exists in it's on a planet that is like has a Pangea setting. So there's a one massive supercontinent, and most of it is desert interior, but on the edge that has the mountains that gets all the rain, that's where a lot of the initial settling was done. So that's where most of the hives are built. But most of them are collapsing or flooded or damaged in some serious manner, because it has like superstorms constantly that hit up against that coast that, or not constantly, seasonally, so that it floods. And I want to use that in the campaign to change up, every 2 weeks or whatever, change the season that we're playing in, or so that it has some effect on the gameplay. So the idea is that the hive has recently, or this section of the Underhive has recently been resettled, because the sump pumps have recently been turned back on. So settlers and stuff have started to swarm and clean up this area that was once just like a flooded hive. And if I'm not going to put any sort of walkway or anything here, if I'm just going to drop a ladder straight down, maybe to a small platform in the back down, then I definitely actually want these, because it's that boost of detail that the top part here needs. So we're going to go ahead and cut them out too. I just got to make sure to get a light bright enough to shine out through all of these holes. Oh, what Yeah, that mess was lame. I just didn't lift my foot high enough and I knocked it over. Biker, since you use it all the craft foam EVA, it's such versatile stuff. Yes, EVA foam is a great thing. What's up, that one dude? Maybe cut a piece of cardboard to slide in, put the bars in, and slide them in behind. Since it's already see, the thing is that I'm gonna put a light back here, right? So I just wanted something for the light to silhouette up against, and so it doesn't even have to be like. I can use cheaper things. So I'm probably just going to, because I want it to feel like bars are running, not necessarily bars, but pipes are running this way along it. I might just go back here in the back, and you guys can't see this at all, but maybe you can see my finger right there. Just put some popsicle stick, or not popsicle sticks, any sort of tube, cheap tube I can put in the back. So then at least when the light shines out, it silhouettes some pipes and stuff back there. Because otherwise it's pretty dark in there, so you can only see just a hair into the thing. And I'm not trying to block it up, because I could, I could have just glued this on without cutting the hole. And it would have still given it depth. That's what's cool about this piece, is that the fact that there's a ½ inch or something, 1 3/4 inches of depth here, this way. So yeah, ½ inch of depth this way. So you could just glue it to something, and there's enough space that if you painted whatever it was back there, it's gonna make it look like a hole. The inside of the plastic is black already. It's a pretty. That's why I built more than I needed, because it was relatively easy to build out of this old vacuum hose, and it's a great detail. Because I've tried it the other way. I've tried to just like build this, flat surface with some sort of mesh or whatever to make like manhole covers or vent things, and it never looks good because the background is too close. You have to raise the background up a little bit, and when you paint it black, just that little bit of depth will change it up. But I do want the top ones on here. I decided we're just gonna go for gusto. I've already been told that this terrain has too much on it, so let's make it more. Ancient. Oh, I think. The cool thing about this too is like the reason that I was like, I don't know if I want to put these up there in the first place was it's very repetitive, right? Like you're getting into massively repetitive, but this piece is quite repetitive on this side too. It has the EVA texture all over it, so that will just help match that appearance. So we're just going to go through, cut these circles. We don't have to be super strict about it because we are going to fill it with this thing, and then we're going to tile this as well. So any weird gap that we have that is, I cut this weird and there's a gap there, we're going to fix with some tile or hot glue and texture if we need. Okay, what's going on? Push this aside. Oh, it might actually be 3 layers of cardboard on the top. Damn. That's good though. I left that thing, the piece of cardboard that whatever came in here, a 2-inch drill, something through a nailer, staple, a air-powered nail gun. That was like holding the nail gun. Here, I'll show you. So there's like another layer of cardboard I left in there, and I left it in there for structural support. That if you put something vertical, you even just like take a piece of cardboard and shove it inside of the box you're using structurally, it will make it a lot stronger. So I just didn't realize it was three layers deep. So actually, once you get some light shining from the top, you might be able to see it a little bit better. But since this is silly razor blade work and my hand is kind of in there holding that piece of cardboard from flopping around, I'm not going to try to tip it so you guys can see. You know what I'm doing. You seen the hole I cut right there. So. One layer, 2 layers. This one will be the hardest because it's kind of tore up in the back here, which is unfortunate. Okay, got all the holes cut. I'm gonna pop these in here. Blam. They're not quite level or in there perfectly. It's not bad for the moment. I will make sure to, I'll make sure to fix them up. That's what it looks from the vertical. But I'm gonna go grab that light. I know right where it is upstairs, and see what the commotion is going on. So I will be back momentarily. Apologize about that. I didn't achieve all of my goals I should have prior to starting to film, so that was one of them that I needed to go do real quick, and I didn't realize it. So we're good now, though. I grabbed that light, and also when I went and grabbed this light, I realized it was sitting on my painting desk with some models that need to be painted. Actually, I'll take this off. Maybe it'll fit in there better. I'm going to turn these lights down so that you can get kind of a view. So, right now that's hella bright. It's cool. Maybe I'll try to put this this diffuser thing back on it a little bit. Upside down. Diffuser, or the, yeah, it doesn't, oh, turn it off. Doesn't really want to fit with the diffuser on there, which means I might have to pull some of this other cardboard out, which I don't really want to do. But that's with the diffuser. It's still really bright. So it might be cool to, like I said, let's see. Oh, it turned off for some reason. What's that on? Was it out of batteries? Of course it runs out of batteries. That's how it's going to be. But that's the basic idea. It was a short-lived demonstration, but a demonstration nonetheless. Look, here's more bits I missed to pick up. All over the floor. Yeah, sorry. Short-lived demonstration, but that's yeah, the battery's dead is what's happening. So I'm going to just toss it on the, I'll have to charge this to get it to work, and I'll charge it before I got to charge my phone too. I'll charge it before I really do anything else with that. Did I miss any chats? Nope. Just want to make sure, because I'm doing it widescreen, so you can get a little bit better of a view of what I'm actually doing with my hands, as opposed to just being able to see the terrain piece I'm working on. So the chat isn't popping up. So if you have something to say and you need me to respond to it, you'll have to just like spam the chat a little bit so it stays on my screen. So what that demonstration showed me is that even with the diffuser on there, it's still very bright. So I do think I'm going to layer stuff in here and have chopsticks from a Chinese restaurant down the road. Those are good size. A couple busted dowels. Yeah, I definitely like the idea. My gaming group has been pushing me more to utilize technology in my builds. Apparently that's something that is, I mean, it's super cool, like adding the lights, adding motors, or adding anything like that. too much brightness. Yeah, I can tone the bright down on that too, though. Like I could that particular light I could dim. So that was just at full max capacity. Um, it also probably the reason why it died so quickly is because I was playing Necromunda and we had it stuck on the board, lighting it up, and we played Necromunda for hours, so probably wore the battery down to nothing. But I don't know, man. Should I do piping behind it? Maybe just on the vertical side, maybe just on the top, so that when you're looking down into it, I could always after I paint it and everything, I could, if I can leave these, or well, even not, because I'm gonna leave this open so I can get the lighting out. I also have like little tea light things that I thought I could put in there, and that would be a lot dimmer. But if this is going to be like, say, in a scenario, and this is you have to do something with this pipe, I'll definitely put this, what do I think it is? I think it's like a relay station, or a venting station for piping, like a pressure venting station. But if I used it as like a main piece in a battle, I would definitely put the brighter light in it. But just for everyday use, I'll probably just toss some of the multicolored lights that just glow. And if I do that, I can just glue some paper towel on the other side of this, or around the lights when I toss them in there, and it'll diffuse them a little bit. So that is a way. I think I need to start thinking about how I'm going to texture this now. I kind of feel like using up some more of this wood that I have. I have a pile that I haven't really used for a while. Weird. Okay, so maybe using these along that wall, or just along the edges of this whole thing. That would cause a lip on the edge, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because it gives a place for ladders and stuff to attach, or walkways to attach. These are approximately, I don't know, an eighth of an inch shy of being 4 inches tall. So you can see that this thing isn't quite 4 inches. It's like three and a half. So going up to 4 isn't necessarily what I want to do, but I'm gonna see how easy it is to cut one of these down to 3.5, and if it's relatively easy, I'm gonna do it. Also, I got to play Kill Team the other day, the newer version. I know that it's not super new, but it was quite enjoyable. Didn't get into all of the rules, but we did get a pretty fun, brutal game of shooting the crap out of each other, smashing the crap out of each other, doing orcs and Chaos Space Marines. And I thought, you know, I thought it'd be a really good teaching game, to be honest with you. It could be a really good game to just, or if you have like old school players that maybe haven't played in a long time and don't want to get back into 40K, but they have 40K minis, like you could easily proxy in other minis for whatever, and it would work just fine. Well, I do like that. That's a good easy panel texture, and then it allows me to work on these individually, so I can, you know, put tubing or whatever. The only issue I see now is, well, let me go back to the face of this, is you know, getting all this cut out, because this stuff doesn't cut. Circles aren't the easiest to cut in here. Squares, yeah. Circles, no. So, maybe I will just do the 3 sides and then tile this with and the top with the plastic squares that I've used on other pieces to give them kind of a match. I actually really like that idea. So I'm going to cut myself a few more of these real quick. But yeah, Kill Team was fun. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It probably is because I haven't played any 40K in a long time, so there's always a, you know, nostalgia hit. I have been playing Necromunda a bit more recently, and like we've been playing the old one, but we played the new one recently, and it's good. I just like, I guess that's why I like the Kill Team, is because there was, you know, some resource I could use to track everything that was going on. The Necromunda, it's pretty difficult to track all that stuff. The new Necromunda, at least. But so I hope that Games Workshop will realize that and release something that you can, a gameplay companion, so that while you're playing, you can, you know, input what goes on, and it'll remind you, like, hey, you haven't activated this guy, or you haven't, whatever. I probably save all these pieces because I can do some, like, just frame facade work with them. So it looks like it's going to take me a little less than 2 to get around that side. I don't know how much I really want to build on these 2 edges, or on this edge, because it's already flush to the thing. So I might have to do like stucco on that, just because I put it just a little bit too close. I should have given it at least a little lip. I thought I had learned that lesson, but apparently I haven't. But I can always make it a similar pattern to this, so then they'll match together, which will be nice. So I need 2, 4, 6 of these done, and I have 3. If I do the plastic tile around these vents on the other side, it will be a lot easier to cut the circles too. So that is a positive. And that's the other thing with like knowing your materials, knowing your resources, because if you the more resources you use, the better experience you get with them, and then you can kind of like know what can be done with them, or at least what you can do with them, and then you can always push yourself to try new things with those mediums. And if you can't, come up with anything, there's always other resources like other crafters, such as myself, to follow along and get tips from and give tips from too. So if you have a resource that you really like to use, that you use in place of one that I use, feel free to holler it out. I love that stuff. Okay, cutting panels. The other thing about the pattern on the front of, or the other side of that building, is it reminds me of a hospital for some reason. So I might try to lean into the laboratory setting type of thing, so that when I tile it, maybe it'll look like a tiled bathroom or something. That's what I'm hoping. Oh, not that side. And also, the other thing with this side is that I'm going to have to engineer something here that keeps this closed. Whether I put a magnet whether I glue a magnet right there and right here and just magnet it, which I will probably do because that seems like the easiest solution. But I'm going to have to, and I might actually have to do magnets on the corners, because even if I put pressure in the center, the corners stick out. So I think that's the solution there. See, this one I left enough lip that it actually fits. So I am going to do some quick measuring on this box, just to give me like an idea of where center is. Same here. And same on this side. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, I don't know why I'm putting that down. I'm just gonna have to use it because I'm just gonna kind of line that up with this, square it off a little bit, and then give myself a mark on the other side, so that I have the idea of the little overlay that's happening here, because I'm gonna have to snip those off. Now, I'm relatively flush with this corner. Looks great. Go ahead and start adhering these guys. So I need to start wrapping this piece up. I put a little bit more production time into random stuff on this, like cutting all the pieces for this. And then I'm gonna have to tile a bunch here. So I got a lot of production to do. So I'm gonna have to kind of blaze through this pretty quick. This one hangs over just a little bit, but I'm gonna leave it because this is where the door is. So it'll give me another, if that corner does stick out a little bit, this will help block that. Good, so this one is going to be a bit shorter, but I'm going to do the same thing. Try to square it up. Grab my pencil. And I think actually on this one I might leave this overhang. I might cut it off on this one because that will give me like a little overhang lip to work with for adjusting any sort of height that here, or a depth in this front piece. Because when I put the tile on, that's going to change the depth again. So I might put the tile on and then put these in. So having that little extra depth will be nice to work with. Plus, when I put it on here, it'll be another, kind of guard area for that corner that's going to be wonky. So we got this. I'm gonna glue this side on so I get a better measurement first. Almost out of hot glue. Gonna have to stop crafting when I run out of this box of hot glue. It's a big box of hot glue. Good. Panels. So yeah, I left that overhang, and it's still, when I put this piece, the top piece pushes out so far. Oh well. good. This will be an interesting corner to do the EVA foam on too, because it's going to be a door as well. Or I got to be able to get into it to put the lights. So, and it's good to like check that stuff while you're building, because I just put this panel on, right, and I didn't leave quite enough space between the bottom of this and the board that it's stuck on, the bottom of this panel and the board that it's stuck on. So now when you start to open it, it hits, so you can't really get it all the way open, which is going to limit the access a little bit. I could probably run my razor knife and open that up a little bit more, but that's a good thing to note, that the more I build on this, the harder it is probably going to get open and closed. And it's good to stop and do that, and check that, because you'll quickly realize that you've glued over, or you've somehow damaged the engineering that you were doing on the piece. That also tells me that if I raise this gap up a little bit, there won't be so much tension there. So that's a good one. I think, what do I have left for magnets down here? I have these two kitchen magnets, and I can go steal some more off the fridge or whatever, but they're very thick. Wonder about gluing them in there. If I feel like I might be able to get away with cutting off this piece, but I don't want to cut off these pieces, because if I do, then when I put a light in there, it's going to give another gap for that light to possibly shine out, where this corner blocks it. So I don't really want to cut off these. I suppose I could just cut the space where the magnet is too, because that's pretty flush. If I do that, then opening this isn't going to be as easy. Do you think that it is possible to just like okay. Just going to cut. These are some of the circles that I cut out on the other side for the little sewage grate. light expose thing I got going on. I'm just going to cut them into quarters. And glue them together and try to keep stack them up and try to keep one edge flush. So that now I have a place to put my magnet. And a way to easily mount it up here in the corner. Might have to trim this just a little bit. And on the back end, it's a little bit bigger. Okay, and before I glue this in, I'm going to go ahead and cut the square out of this side too. So, in theory, when this closes, this will stay exposed. And I should be able to still open it. Hell no, I can't open it. So the best bet is going to get this magnet glued on here so that I can then readjust to where it decides it wants to live permanently. I'm going to go ahead and just start on this side. Again, this is just some off-the-cuff engineering to get this door or this little panel to close so that I can get a light in here to be exposed from those vents. So yeah, that works great. This might need to be much better. And I bet you if I okay, so now I'm just gonna try to get a little more hot glue on this magnet I glued up in here. Solidify it in its place. This does not have to be pretty at all because nobody's going to see this. Cool. So, I'll show you detail. So this is as much as the gap is going to be along the top, and I might try to put a little strip of EVA or maybe multiple strips of EVA foam there to cover that, or extend the tile off the top of here just a little bit so that it covers that. Yeah, I like it. So let's keep going with it. We just got this side cut. Let's cut off this side. Perfect. Make us another mounting bracket. Just out of cardboard. So this was different. This was the cardboard from the inside, which is like packing cardboard. So there's more space. There's more air in it. There's more space between. It's not as compact. So when I squished it down, it lost 90% of its shape. And that, you know, in some cases could be a really cool thing. In this case, it kind of isn't helping, but whatever. This is just a little support for this magnet anyways. I'm gonna put a little bit of this stiffer card on here with it, just because that stuff is so squishy. I can't even get it to the size of the magnet yet. Ridiculous. Just cranking along with this. Almost got this door done. Perfect. Oh, what? What's the deal with magnets, huh? How do they even work? To make sure that cools and dries good, but go over here, got myself a handful of washers. See which ones are actual steel. So now the idea is I glue these washers on the end here, and they clip to that, and it's all good. What do you think? I don't think it'll work. Those magnets aren't the strongest. So my only real worry is that it just pushes itself back open. But let's see. No, I mean it holds it closed, but there's one heck of a gap here. Like you guys don't have a view. That the gap, like this cool with that, you know, magnetizes or whatever here. I'm gonna cut that piece off right now because I think that might be part of the problem. It's just that the magnets are sticking a little bit too far out. So I might go in there and try to get them to go back a little bit further. little further back. We'll see if this works. That's why actually I wanted to put the magnets on the corners as opposed to just one in the center. Because I was trying to get it to pull tighter, and it, you know, doesn't really seem to be working. See, that's not even enough to hold against that one, so that's a sad thing. This might not actually work because these magnets are too small. I might also just have to clean this up and then build myself a little light blocking wall on the inside that isn't putting so much pressure on this door. Hot glue gun, woo! Okay, we can do this. It still doesn't. Barely. It's weird. This right here is driving me crazy. Just barely. Ever so. Yeah, I don't even know if that helped any. I do think, since there's already such a big gap sticking out here, I'm just going to cut this piece off because it is not helping at all. It's pushing the back against it the most. Yeah, I guess that's just where it lives. I can't seem to. Okay, I gotta let that cool. I keep fiddling with it, and it is just making it worse. So we're just gonna hop over here real quick, and we're gonna just brainstorm some. Should I match that kind of aesthetic, I'm thinking. Shit, yeah, why not? Got me a few fresh strips of this EVA foam. We'll see what we can put together real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need just a couple more. That's good for the moment. I'm going to leave that EVA foam out because I'll probably need some more, but we're just going to go ahead. What did we say this was? 3.5. So sure, whatever. Do them as long as I can. I feel like kind of evening them out across the corners, personally. Not stressing about them too much. All I really want to do is try to keep them level so they don't look like wonky all over, you know. But building supports do shift, and this place has been flooded for a long time, so you know that's a possibility. I'm definitely going to try to get the hot glue roughed up. I don't want any oozy hot glue pieces out because it'll be really apparent on the wood structure. Blam. And you know, I can always run some vertical ones too to make that, to match this kind of pattern a little bit. So I think I will. Oh, this is the magnet. There you go. See? So pretty much fixed that whole thing just by cutting off this piece that was pushing too much pressure out on the door, and then the cardboard itself had been opened so many times that the corners of it had been pulled back. So this piece was kind of bowed out. So and I don't care if I break these tiles a little bit. They're glued on there, so they're gonna stay. So I just bowed them in a little bit, and they hit that really well, and that gap is barely seen. So, and I can always do like something opaque. Something opaque right here that will block the light. Looks like this is getting a little wrecked up. I don't really mind that. I just didn't want to peel chunks off of it. Oh well, actually that does kind of look cool. Adds a whole other texture in there. We are here. So I know if I glue this right here, it's going to it's going to block this, but I will cut it here in a second. Drop on that side, drop on that side. So what I'll do is I'll just cut this afterwards, after it's all glued on there and dried, so that this door can still open, but those things will just have a razor blade cut in them, so they should line up really well. So usually I try to run my videos about an hour long to give myself a break. I did forget to do something before I started the live video, so I had to stop and run up and go do it. So I was pushing this one a little bit longer. I will be doing more streams today. I'm going to try to do 2 more. One around noonish and one later this evening, if possible. I'm more of a morning person. Then my brain starts to turn to mush throughout the day. But I have been trying to hit different time zones because I really like different people's inputs. So I'm gonna try to do one later tonight at like 7, and probably another one today. Actually, probably here in only a few hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up and get anything else in real life done, so I can come back and craft. But it was very nice hanging out with y'all. Thank you for the input. I love to hear about your day. It's all groovy stuff. Got one more of those, and this is how far we got so far. I am going to do more EVA foam, probably right in the center of each panel. It kind of, simulates this effect here, but so far so good. I definitely am happy that we got this piece worked out. Oh, yeah, I'll just leave it together. You going? Yeah, so then I just cut this corner. So now that I can open, I can put a light in there, whatever. Hell, I can store my scatter terrain in there. I dig it. Good job. Right on. Well, I will catch you guys in a few hours. If you want to come chat with me then. If you missed any of my live videos, I upload them all on my channel, so you can check them out there. I'm still releasing videos on my channel. I've got a candle tutorial that I should have up today, maybe tomorrow. Depends on how much I feel like doing editing. But it was great hanging out with y'all. And I'll see you in a couple hours if you come back. If not, you have a wonderful day, and keep crafting.